Good morning and welcome to the next episode of the Quirky Mama Chronicles podcast. Thank you very much for joining me. Today we are talking about motherhood, the only job where the true boss licks you. Kidding, of course, we just refer to our kids as bosses. Don't take it seriously. We are talking about boundaries and identity when you are a mom and feeling touched out. So, before we begin, welcome to the podcast. Get your coffee, reheat it if you need to. And this is the podcast where it is starring you in your everyday motherhood life. And I just narrate it sarcastically um, out of love. So I want to start with a question. Is setting boundaries with my family and kids a step too far? You're welcome to put your answers in the comments to that one. If you don't know, that's okay too, because society has taught us that that's not a question that we should have to answer. That's not a question that should even enter our minds. What kind of mom are you if it does? But I'm here to talk about that and, of course, breaking the societal norms. So, before we get into that, we are going to have our deep breathing session. If you remember this from the last episode, this is where we breathe in all the good stuff and breathe out all the BS. So, we are just going to take a deep breath in and we are going to let it go. And we're going to take a deep breath in, deep as if we are sniffing that first morning cup of coffee that is being brewed. And we're going to breathe out all the stress of everything that is coming our way today. And one more deep breath. We are going to take a deep breath in as if our most favorite scent in the entire world is currently in the room with us, and we don't know when we are going to smell it again. And we are going to hold that breath up at the top for a second. And we're going to breathe out all the doubt and second thoughts we have about motherhood, because in this moment, we are our best mom selves. All right. Perfect little bit of grounding. Grab your blanket, get yourself comfortable, and let's listen in. So, first of all, societal acceptance. What is that? That is based on, I guess, psychologically and instinctually, back in the day when having a tribe of group somewhere you belonged meant survival. It was the only way we knew that we were going to be able to survive is if we were welcome in this group, if we did things by this group, and they looked after us and we looked after them. That's where the "it takes a village to raise a kid" came from, because we had a tribe of people with us. There were sisters, there were cousins, there were grandparents, there were mothers, there were neighbors, all that kind of thing. But if you weren't liked, if you were considered an outcast, if you broke the rules, you were exiled. And very often that meant death, because you weren't being looked after. There was nobody to keep watch over you while you slept, for any dangers. There was no one to go find food when you were tired. There was no one to hunt if you didn't know how. And so it very often meant death. So we have this inner fear of not being accepted. We have this inner fear of judgment. And a lot of the time, it is absolutely valid. Judgment can be a very scary thing. And it hits mothers as a group a lot, because everybody kind of knows that as mothers, we're vulnerable and they're going to play on it. And they're going to use that vulnerability. Now, what does this have to do with kids and licking us and our boundaries? So, the idea of an accepted, a societal, socially accepted mother in today's world is you give everything to your kids: your energy, your time, your patience, your money, everything. It all goes to your kids. Your identity is now mom. That's it. Doesn't matter who you are, you're mom. You belong to your kids. And if you don't, you're selfish. You're neglecting them. You obviously don't care about them. And why did you even decide to have any kids if you weren't willing to give them everything? And moms feel lost and they don't want to be judged. And they're already in a vulnerable state, having given birth, having, maybe health issues around it. Postpartum depression is a real thing, mental health, all that stuff, right? This is very common stuff that we hear about from moms. So they're already worried about feeling judged and not being the perfect mom and living up to the Pinterest mom and the social media mom influencer. And now they're touched out from giving attention 24/7 at home, from being hugged, grabbed, pulled on, nose wiped, dirty hands, all that kind of stuff all day long. Licked, kids will lick, and they just want a few moments alone. And they're hiding in the pantry and they're going down to the laundry room and they're taking a breath of fresh air outside. But everybody asks, "Oh, where's your kids? Why can't you see them? Can you hear them? What if they have an accident while you're away? What if? Why are you not being a good enough mom?" And the thing is, we have to set those boundaries with those people, and we have to set those boundaries with our kids because otherwise they grow up to be the kind of people that don't understand boundaries either. So, but setting boundaries with your kids and your family becomes difficult when, as a mom, you are supposed to be giving all of your time and your energy to them because that's how you become a good mom. So here's the thing. Yes, you need to set boundaries with your kids and with your family. And that is totally allowed. Let's look at it this way. If somebody was bothering your child at school, bullying them, or just being in their face all the time, and it was something that your child didn't like, what is something that you would tell them? You would tell them that they need to tell this person to leave them alone. You would tell them that they need to tell this person they are in their space, however it is you describe it. But it basically comes down to you would teach your kid to set a boundary with this person. Now, not that our kids are bullies intentionally. Um, I mean, I'm sure we all have some stories of, getting head butted or pinched or licked constantly. Um, but the thing is, we have to set the boundaries with our kids because they need to know, first of all, that they're not entitled to attention just because they are a kid. They are going to have to wait at times. And this is how you build a responsible child in this world. But it also gives you the time you need, the moments that you need to come back to yourself and to ground yourself and center and do what you need to do so that you are being a good mom at the time. And that's a difficult concept because here we are in this world being told give everything to your kids, but we're not being told that we're allowed to set boundaries with them. And yet, if we don't, we have a bunch of entitled people running around that never heard the word no, and we're being judged for not parenting our kids properly. So it's a no win situation. So the thing is, going back to talking about judgment and that tribe and needing to feel like we belonged, the thing is, the way our world is right now, you're going to be judged regardless. Moms are being judged, parents are being judged, kids are being judged, everyone is being judged. You are going to be judged no matter what you do. So if you can see that what you want to do is have a kid who is a responsible human being, a good human being, do what you need to do to make that happen and then just let people judge because you're doing the thing that is right for you. You're doing the thing that is right for your child. And nobody can say that otherwise. And if they're going to judge you for it, that's a them issue. It has nothing to do with you. And the right people are going to see what you are doing and they are going to support you and they are going to be there for you. And you might even inspire some to do the same thing. or to step to the plate for you when other people won't. It's kind of amazing what happens when moms get together and start supporting each other because they see something in someone that maybe they wish they had or they wish someone had done for them. And that is the power of motherhood, is knowing that we come together and be magical, and knowing that we're going to be creating these amazing kids, and this amazing new generation, this amazing future. When your kids learn boundaries, and it doesn't have to be hard, it could be something as simple as when they ask you or tell you that they want to do this, they want to go and do something, they need you up, they need you coming with them. You tell them to wait. You just say wait and you take 10 seconds. And then that way they kind of learn that you're not going to just jump when they say jump. If they say that they want to go and do something right this very second and you're in the middle of doing something, if it is something that you were going to be doing with them today anyway, you can tell them, yes, we are going to do that, but I can't do that at this very minute. You need to wait until I am done. You can involve them. Say if it's something like washing the dishes, you can absolutely have them help you out and then they can see what's being done. Because very often when a kid is asking to do something, they're kind of in a moment of being bored. They don't really know what they can do. They don't really have that initiative yet of what they can start doing. And they're really just looking for you to pay attention to them. So if you involve them in what you're doing, assuming it is safe to do so, they feel like they're connecting with you and they feel like you are paying attention to them. You're involving them. And then you get stuff done. And then you can go and do the things that you guys were planning on doing anyway. But it teaches them that you can't do it this very minute and that they're just going to have to wait and they can get involved and do it with you, or they can learn to sit and wait. And I think sometimes you'll find, surprisingly, kids actually do want to get involved with you and do it with you, um, for the reasons I mentioned above. And then what that does is it transfers their restless energy and their want for everything now, 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 and feeling like they need the attention from you all the time, to realizing there's things that they can do, there's things that they have to wait for, but they know you are always going to come back to the things that they asked about, and it's not going to get forgotten and they're not going to just get brushed aside. So you are acknowledging them as well, keeping them diverted, um, and then returning to what it is they wanted to do without giving in and creating entitlement. You have set that boundary. So, what about when a kid licks you or won't stop headbutting you or pinching? I definitely had to deal with the headbutting. My two kids loved to headbutt under my chin and my nose, my poor nose. And it was something that we just really had to deal with. My kids were quite strong, quite hard in the head, and my teeth and my jaw took a real bashing from them headbutting me quite a bit. And so it was one of those things where I had to be ready for it when they did it. And I had to let them know, like, hey, this hurts. Um, and I had to let them know it wasn't acceptable. And I started, kind of more gently, like, hey, we would talk about this. Then I would do what I could do to kind of distract them from doing it. And there were a couple of times where I actually had to show them the pain of it. So instead of trying to like dodge or let them just kind of like, graze, I actually would have to take the hit so that they could feel it as well. Because kids don't know how to relate to something that hasn't happened to them. And I'm not saying that you should just go around headbutting. I'm saying that they sometimes need to feel the consequence of what they're doing. It's like having a kid who won't stop trying to touch a hot stove. You can tell them, You can show them that it's hot. You can hold their hand near it so that they can feel the heat. But some kids are just going to have to touch that stove in order to feel that it's actually hot. And that's when they believe you. And so you set the boundary and you let them know, hey, this hurts. You can't do this. And sometimes if it takes them feeling the pain to step back over that line, what it that's what has to happen. And you are absolutely allowed to set those boundaries. You are a human being. You are allowed to not want to be headbutted and licked and touched and, jumping every time your kid says they want to do something. You need to set those boundaries. You would teach your kid, they would have to set those boundaries. So why, with somebody else at school, at work, when they grow up, why would you not allow you to set boundaries? Because you're a human being, just like everybody else. Motherhood doesn't take away from the fact that you're a human. So, the only job where the boss looks to you, yeah, but you are a mom. You are magical. You can deal with this, and you absolutely, absolutely deserve to set those boundaries. So, this was not an easy podcast. This is definitely not an easy mindset shift, but it is one that is going to serve you on your motherhood journey and as your kids grow. And when your kids see you setting your boundaries and they follow them, they are going to learn what their own boundaries are. And by setting your own boundaries, you're actually teaching your kids what they also don't have to accept and what they can do to make things better in their lives. So, again, everything we do in motherhood, it kind of has a ripple effect. We start it, we lead with it, and it ripples out, whether it's our energy and giving back to our kids, or our mood and being patient with our kids, or setting our boundaries and teaching our kids their worth that they can find themselves instead of having to wait 3 years for somebody to believe in them before they have that. So, things to think about, things to keep in mind. Mamas were magic, and I really hope that you find that magicalness in you and you believe in it, because amazing things happen when you are your best mom self. So, that's it for this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.